Hello, this is George Harker. Join me as I go off to Kalaupapa National Historical Park to observe monk seals. This is my first trip over to Kalaupapa, taken in August of 2012. Little did I know it would become the basis for the most comprehensive look at the life history of the Hawaiian monk seal, and it would reveal the critical and fatal flaws in the methodology of the Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center. 4 in a series of 9 documenting the life history of the Hawaiian monk seal, days 17 through 21. The central element is Mom teaching the pup to find solid food from day 1. When weaned, the pup is quite proficient at finding its own food. Fair use notice. The following may contain copyrighted materials made available to advance understanding. It is believed that this constitutes a fair use of any such copyrighted material as provided for in Section 107 of the U.S. copyright laws. According to NOAA's Fisheries Office of Protected Resources, nursing occurs for about 1 month, during which time the mother fasts and remains on land. After this period, the mother abandons her pup and returns to sea. There is nothing in NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries Office of Protected Resources statement that has any validity at all. Note and understand what is documented within this video, and you will understand why Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center and Pacific Island's Regional Office programs do not and cannot assist the monk seal. On the contrary, fundamental problems within the agencies are the cause of an accelerated decline in the seals, a situation not found in other divisions of NOAA managing similarly endangered marine species. For those with eyes to see and ears to hear, part of a continuum of mother monk seal teaching pup to find solid food while nursing. This video documenting monk seal pup learning to find solid food during specific days 17 through 21. Nursing occurs over 50 days, plus or minus. It is mid-afternoon on day 17, and we find Lona and her pup on Iliope Beach. The first seal I would see was my old friend Lona. She had hauled out to me over in Lahaina 5 months earlier on March 2nd. It's a short time from the previous clip, and we find the pup starting to move and looks like it's getting in position for a snack. Mom becomes aware of my presence and rolls over and acknowledges me by hopping onto the shore. The presentation is just like 5 months ago in Lahaina. The only real difference is that Mom has a pup in tow. The significance of this beach location is that it is about 1/4 of a mile from where she has been overnighting with her pup. This will be my last observation of her for the day, and I have no data on where she spent the night. It's early in the morning of day 18, and I find Lona and pup just slightly offshore. Lona, RO-17, and pup are actively engaged in diving and looking for food. When I took this video in 2012, I had very little knowledge of the development of monk seal feeding behavior. In 2015, when I had prepared this narrative, I knew pups are taught to find solid food from day 1. Just over 2 weeks old, and it is obvious the pup is becoming proficient at diving and looking for its own solid food. The previous videos in this 9-part series clearly documents Mother's role in the learning process. Later in the day, Lona and the pup are hauled out on Papaloa Beach to the south. This would be my last look at Lona and the pup for day 18. I did not collect any data that evening. It is morning of day 19, and Lona and the pup are in the same position they were when we were last seen the previous day. Pup is enjoying a snack before it embarks on a morning of foraging with its mom. It's later in the day, and Lona and the pup are just offshore, having a little lunch. Once again, I have not collected any data for the evening of day 19. It's late morning of day 20, and I find Lona involved in an altercation with Casanova, a young male with a reputation, as his name implies. Casanova moves off after his romantic advances are rebuffed by Lona. After Casanova's departure, Mom and Pup return to their shallow water foraging. A little later, Mom and Pup head out for slightly deeper foraging. A bit later, Mom appears to be considering climbing out on the lava rock. In the development process, I have observed Mom instructing through example other resting spots beside the sandy beach. Here we see the mom opting for the primary resting spot for a monk seal, the water. A little while later, and the two are off for more foraging. At just over 2 weeks old, the pup is well versed in nearshore ocean foraging, as seen here. It is mid-morning, and Lona and the pup are in relatively shallow water on the ocean side of a rocky area known as the Bench. Keep in mind that the Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center would have us believe our 2 seals are sitting up on the beach nursing for 30 days and not going in the water. A little later in the day, Lona and Pup are offshore. Looks like flippers are up and that they're foraging. About an hour later, and our intrepid foraging seals have returned to shore. Looks like they're sacked out and ready for nightfall. It's morning on day 21, and Lona and Pup are in the water, taking it easy. It's mid-morning on day 21. It's basically another view angle of Lona and Pup. Looks like with a little nursing going on, a little more activity, getting ready to move out and go about their day. And that wraps up our observations for this visit to Kalaupapa. Summary and significance of the video. This video documents the learning curve of a monk seal as it learns to find its own solid food in the ocean. The pup is slightly more than 2 weeks old and quite capable of diving down and grabbing food morsels in the shallow water where it lives. If the pup is not snoozing or nursing, it is out with its mother, diving in water a few feet deep to gather its own food. Specific examples of NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center created problems. Understand that Pacific Island Fisheries reintroduced the monk seal back to the main Hawaiian Islands in 1994, and you will be better able to grasp the level of deceit and deception with current programs. The most destructive program is helping seal moms and their pups in the northern Hawaiian Islands during the pupping period. Programs such as supplemental feeding, translocation, handling pups for any reason directly undercut mother seals' instructions for survival. A most egregious allegation. A word about human interaction with monk seals. Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center portrays any interaction with a monk seal as affecting its wild nature and should be avoided at all costs. Monk seals, like dolphins and whales, are known to communicate with sound and telepathically with humans. For more information on this topic, search Communicating with Monk Seals, Whales, and Dolphins on the internet. It will be further explored in subsequent videos. Seal protection zones, SPZs, are often staked out around seals to protect them from encounters with curious and loving public. Looking at the seals of Kalaupapa, we find seals are more apt to return to a different area than the one they previously occupied. Note that on any day the seals are in and out of the water numerous times. As a practical matter, where is the SPZ to be located? The use of SPZs is another hazing technique which is uncalled for. Bleach marking is another hazing technique used to encourage seals to go elsewhere. Touted as aiding identification, it is not necessary. Seals shed their skin annually, and depending on a transient mark for identification makes no sense. Bleach marks are often unreadable. Bottom line is that they deface the natural beauty of the animal. spoiling the once-in-a-lifetime photo opportunity for many. Bleach adds a scent that sharks associate with monk seals as prey. Hazing seals to change their basic behavior toward humans as part of NOAA's Pacific Islands Fisheries Science Center's programs to assist the monk seal's survival speaks most clearly to how flawed NOAA's programs are. It is totally contrary to the basic concepts of the Endangered Species Protection Act. In looking at other NOAA seal protection programs such as those for Pacific Fisheries Harbor Seal, we find a much more enlightened attitude where indigenous groups are allowed to manage the species according to traditional cultural practices. KP2 is an example of deceit and deception of NOAA's Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center. Facts not abandoned as stated by Pacific Island Fisheries, but rather taken from mother at about 1 day old. Kept from water for 20 days, which is probable cause of cornea edema and going blind. Released after 8 months of captivity. Loses 50 pounds from release date to recapture. Clearly unable to adequately feed self, although capable of catching some fish. Held in solitary confinement in Waikiki Aquarium is an example of successful intervention of NOAA program. About $30 million allocated for monk seal harassment in last 6 years. Monk seal communication. Perhaps you've already picked this up from the video. The making of this video had the full cooperation and support of the monk seals imaged within. It would not have been possible without their full cooperation, indeed their guidance during the filming. Forces were at work in the universe that put me in the right places at the right time to catch the subtle details and secrets of monk seal life. This video is dedicated to the memory of those seals that died over the years at the hands of those who were supposed to protect them. Some died from the negative consequences of good intentions, while all too many were the intended results carried out by those making a living in the name of saving a species. The most disturbing deaths were those targeted because of their association with Dr. George Harker and their efforts to get their story told. Stopping the millions in funding will go a long way to aiding seals. You have permission to download and distribute this video through any venue, commercial or non-commercial, under the condition that you do not alter the content in any way. Translations are fine. Special thanks, Eric K. Brown, marine ecologist, Kalapapa National Historical Park, Julie Lopez, Friends of Monk Seals, Molokai, James K. Walsh, PC, Attorney at Law, Eugene, Oregon. Until next time, peace be with you.